This is Dr. Credit King again. This is a response to another text message that I received over the weekend. Um, I received probably like 2,500 text messages, emails, and it's in regards to the first one of the videos I put on TikTok that talked about trade lines. And trade lines, as I said before, are essentially are considered to be a reference. And so if you go back and you do the history of trade lines, you'll find out that back in 1956 is around the time that they had a scoring system that was done by Engineer Williams, by FICO. And if you also go and take a look at trade lines, you will see that a lot of the creditors use trade lines to boost the FICO score. And basically, um, before before sometime after that, or having trade lines, if you go back and you do your history to where they how they used to calculate to get a credit score, what you will do is you will go to the bank and you will open the CD. And I'm pretty sure most of you know what a CD is. And so you open the CD, especially if you didn't have any credit, and you would go, let's say, to four different banks. And let's say you go to bank one, you open the CD. Bank two, you open the CD. Bank three, bank four, whether if it's Wells Fargo, B of A, Chase, or Citibank, or whichever one you use. And you go to those banks, or people used to go to those banks, and let's say you open a CD, I don't know, for maybe $1,000, could be 2,000, 3,000, whatever that amount of money is. And what you would do is you'll go back to the bank, the same bank where you put the CD in that, and you will borrow against that. You'll borrow against the CD that you open, and you'll borrow against each one of those CDs that you open from each different bank. And when you do that, what that will do is that will make the bank report to the credit bureau on your behalf, in other words. So now at that point, you have one, two, three, four trade lines, and basically all you did was use your own money. And you would probably have to give it around, I don't know, 6 months or so. Um, that's how they used to do it back in the old days. They would go and they will open the CD, and basically what you're doing is you're using the banks as a reference. So bank one will be reference one, two, three, and four. And so when the bank asks you, do you have a reference? Well, your reference will be bank one for bank two for bank three for bank four for bank one. And at some point, your FICO score will go up. Now, if you go and I don't know if some of you done research on these credit bureaus to kind of learn how they start calculating those information into the database. For an example, you have, which most of you are familiar with, the three credit bureaus. Of course, there's a lot way more than what they show you. Equifax, for an example. Equifax was established in 1899. And obviously, Equifax, the headquarters are in Atlanta, Georgia. Then you have Experian. Experian was established in 1800s, and their headquarters is in United Kingdom, which is going to be like Dublin, Ireland somewhere. And then you also have TransUnion, which is established in about 1837. And so the one thing about these credit bureaus, for an example, like when you're talking about Experian, is a lot of times when you're sending in dispute letters, they have a system. And that system is called Equimice. So that system is like a brain, and it actually reads your paperwork. And so it knows, or the system knows, that a lot of you are sending generic letters to dispute information on your credit report. But like I mentioned, the trade lines, and that's why I call trade lines a reference, because if you really think about it, a trade line is a reference. Because when you go and you purchase something, they always ask you, do you have a reference? So obviously you're going to say, yeah, I have my mom, I have my dad, I have a relative, or either have whatever you have or whoever to give you a reference. Well, in this case, your reference is going to be Bank of America. Your reference is going to be B of A. Your reference is going to be Citi, Wells Fargo. So those are kind of like your homies, your friends, essentially on your report. They don't advocate it and they don't say it like that, but that's how you have to look at it because they have to validate and vouch for you. How is it that you pay your bills? Some kind of way it has a report, and that's your credit report. So on that credit report, like my book says, that's going to define your credibility in the sense that how are you paying your bills? How how much money are you using on your credit card, or so forth and so forth and so forth. And like I said, if you go do a little bit more deeper research, I believe it's 1956 is where they came up with a database system to where they can calculate the score. And then if you also go and look and you do your homework on CDs, if you go and you look at authors that I've read about years ago, which includes Donald Trump, if you go and you look at Hubert Humphrey, John Beck, um, there's a bunch of them out there, and read their ideology about, like real estate and credit and so forth and so forth. And then you will see what I'm talking about. You'll probably be able to understand it a little bit better. Um, I think I think that's enough information. Also, too, you know, I know I see a lot of people are saying trade lines do 75 points and all this other stuff. And I'm just personally telling anybody that's out there claiming they do credit, that's a lie. So all these people are putting videos and YouTube and TikTok videos out there that's saying that your credit score, if you put a trade line, will jump to 20 to 100 points. I disagree with that because if you really want to get your score up, you want to be a little bit conservative. And being conservative is staying in the middle, not increasing the score to actually insinuating that's going to go that high because that's not true. That's not true at all.